So in today's lesson, I want to teach you guys some of the solo strategies that I use over George Benson's on Broadway. And we will start off with some basics and we'll get into some advanced stuff in a minute. So starting off, let's just talk about the progression here. So most of the time when we're soloing over this, it's a B flat major triad to an A flat major triad. Sometimes people will also go to the 4-chord here where they have a different section, B flat to D flat. But for the majority of the time, it's B flat to A flat. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Now the first strategy here, and there's two parts to this, is minor pentatonics. This is probably the most obvious one here. So from B flat to A flat, we can use B flat minor pentatonic. Just show you a second of how that sounds. So that's a great sound, and that is probably the majority of the sound that Benson uses in his solo on this. But there's another pentatonic here that also works really well, and that's G minor pentatonic, or some people like to think of it as B flat major pentatonic. So we take our same ideas here in this regular pentatonic shape, and we can just also play them down on the 3rd fret, G minor pentatonic. Let's hear what that sounds like. So what's good about that sound and adding that into your palette is that we get the major third here, the D natural, over the B flat. So we get that D from G minor pentatonic. And we also get some color notes over those B flat and A flat. The best way to use these is actually in combination with one another. So let me demonstrate again quickly what it sounds like to go between G minor and B flat minor pentatonic, and try to guess when I'm going to the other scale. So I'll start off with G minor pentatonic. Don't look at my hands as far as when I'm making that change. Try to hear when it sounds like I'm switching to the other scale. And the hint that I'll give you is that the B flat minor pentatonic sounds a bit bluesier, and the G minor pentatonic sounds a bit prettier because it's hitting a lot of these color tones. Okay, so I slipped into a couple other things there, but that's minor pentatonics, B flat minor and G minor pentatonic. We can also add in this next idea of blues, and you heard me doing a lot of that in here. And the thing I want to focus on here is this blues note that's within the blues scale of the minor pentatonic. So if we're in B flat minor pentatonic, adding in that E natural, you could also add it in lower. Same thing on our G minor pentatonic, we can also do a G blues. Right there. But what I want to focus on is a couple of these double stop ideas that George Benson is known for. The main one I want to look at here is this. So I'm sliding in to this F on the G string, and then I'm holding B flat with my pinky in this case. So the middle finger slides in from E to F. My picking, by the way, is down and then up. And so you can get that. But you can also do a pull off with the middle finger on E to the E flat here. So in combination. Still leaving that B flat there. Your pinky doesn't leave. And then we can keep going with this idea with the D flat here with my ring finger, and then B flat with my index, and you get this like. This is another idea here. Pull off, and then the D flat. Down, up, down, up. that's a cool double stop idea you can try for blues. The third concept here I want to talk about is using this idea of 2-5-1s. Now, because we have B flat going to A flat, we can think about this A flat chord like an F minor, because within an F minor 7, we have an A flat triad, A flat, C, and E flat. So this progression of B flat to A flat is really like a 2-5 of F minor to B flat 7. So I can play 2-5-1 type of lines that deal with F minor and B flat 7. So that should open up some new ideas for you. So I'm going to demonstrate some of what that sounds like when I think more of F minor and 2-5-1 lines in that idea, and less of like B flat minor pentatonic and G minor pentatonic. So let me demonstrate that. More likely to hit G natural. A lot of this A flat major 7 arpeggio. I'm hitting E natural sometimes for that F melodic minor. So try out some 2-5-1 lines here with the F minor. If you guys want some 2-5-1 lines, you can check the link below for my Master 2-5-1 Lines ebook for 2-5-1 lines in all keys, but for F minor, and also for this next 2-5 we're going to do, which is a 2-5 going to B flat. So there's this idea when we have a vamp over sort of a static progression, in this case the B flat to A flat, repeats for a long time, we can add in the 5 sound. That creates tension that leads us to B flat. So the 5 of B flat, C, D, E flat, F. The 5 of B flat's F. So playing a 2-5 with C minor, F7, leading into B flat. And you actually hear George Benson playing these kind of ideas as well on Broadway. One of the lines he does is this, which is basically a C minor arpeggio. C minor into like a B dominant. It goes into like a tritone sub. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this explaining. So let me demonstrate some 2-5-1 lines and C minor type of ideas that lead us into B flat. It's going to sound like there's more tension, which should resolve properly into the B flat. So sometimes I'm resolving also by going back to the blues idea, and that is a really helpful thing with this. Whenever we're adding in superimposed harmony here with thinking of different 2-5-1s, a good way to resolve back into that, and again what you hear Benson do, is resolving with blues ideas. So that releases a lot of that tension. The last one I want to go into is this idea of triad pairs. And what's cool with this is it's kind of implied in the progression itself, B flat to A flat. So we can use triads of B flat major and A flat major, just strictly those, to get some ideas. And then another triad pair that works really well is D flat and E flat. So the B flat and A flat triad I think of as coming from F minor, like F Dorian or E flat major. And then the D flat and E flat triad I think of as just being within this B flat minor pentatonic kind of blues shape. I know technically that G in E flat triad isn't part of our B flat minor pentatonic, but that's just the shape I see it within. So let me demonstrate just using triads, and I'll try and call out which ones I'm using. So you can hear how that sounds. And again, this is also a sound that works in contrast with the other ones we've talked about. So B flat and A flat first. flat and E flat. Let's combine all four of those triads. So once you start using all the triads, it really starts to sound a lot like you're doing from these different pentatonics, but playing a bit differently by using these intervals of thirds from the triads. So hopefully that gives you guys some ideas. If you want to learn a lot more about this kind of concept, make sure you join my free guitar community below. I'm active in there and we can share ideas. You can post your take on these lessons. All I ask is that you fill out the membership questions and then introduce yourself to start getting access to my free PDFs. So you can do that in the description below. Thanks guys. I will see you in the next lesson. Let's jam it out.